I installed both new engine mounts. I replaced the AC compressor with that one because the pulley on the other one was shot. So instead of replacing the pulley, I simply replaced the whole compressor. Now we're very close to this exciting moment. Actually, you guys are close to this exciting moment when the engine is going to be mated with the transmission again. For me, I would imagine it's going to take quite a lot of going back and forth based on my experience in the past. Despite it looks pretty straightforward, drop down, made to the transmission, unfortunately that's not that easy. Also, I'm gonna need to watch for those transmission lines. The pan, this part, this fat part of the pan goes very close to them. I don't want to I don't want to press with the pan on the lines. They're gonna be destroyed. They are very delicate, very brittle. So let's attempt. This is the second day, and as you can see, the engine is still out. I was trying to marry those two guys together, the engine and transmission, and it went 1/8, maybe 1/4 or 3/16, close to each other, but I couldn't get them snapped together. And I guess with this comes the knowledge and experience. On my other 209 Mercedes, it had a w209 transmission, and it had M272 motor. And when the torque converter and the flywheel or flex plate has been unbolted from each other, I could spin the torque converter around, and that's what sets me off in our case here. You can see there are like those indentations right here, right here, right here. So that means that the those ears or mounting points on torque converter supposed to be roughly in this area when the engine is being mated to the transmission, and I didn't know that. I was trying so hard, and you can see the marks. I guess, yeah, I guess you can see them. Marks here, marks here, marks here. That means I didn't align those two guys before the mating, and it simply couldn't get close enough. Lesson learned. I'm gonna adjust the torque converter to the same position as the flex plate or flywheel is pointed to, and that's how we're gonna hopefully finally make them go together. This is about a couple hours later. The engine is in, the engine mounts are put together, the lower bolts for the transmission has been attached. Right now I'm gonna be attaching the flex plate to the torque converter because finally they matched, and still gonna need to do the upper bolts holding the transmission together. I kind of put the lines in place. I didn't secure them yet, but right now let's do the 42 Newton meters one is there, 5 more to go. All 6 bolts been torqued. That's it in regards to connection the engine and transmission, except the 2 bolts on the very top. I'm gonna lower the car and I'm gonna put them back in place. Today is already tomorrow and I pretty much finished buttoning up the top portion of the engine bay. I hooked up the positive wiring to this distribution box. The only thing left for me to hook up this connector onto the battery. I hooked up the fuel line, I hooked up the engine wiring harness, I hooked up the mass airflow sensor along with some vacuum pipes in the back of the engine. Routed this vacuum pipe or whatever it is, all the hoses in the front, ground from the engine, power steering line low pressure, power steering line high pressure. Same thing with the AC compressor, both lines are connected. That's it pretty much. I also put the accessory belt or serpentine belt. I'm gonna need to put the new fluid for the power steering because old one was old. I already disposed it, and I can't think about anything else what should have done. Right here on the top looks like everything is being attached. I attached the engine mounts from the bottom, so the engine is attached to the car. Same thing with the transmission mount in the back. I also attached it. Probably I'm gonna slightly leave the car, put some fluid in the tank, steer the wheels back and forth, fill the tank again until it's up to the maximum mark. Then I'm gonna install the exhaust, and we'll see what happened further. Received some goodies from FCP Euro, oil and filter and plug for Baxter, oil and filter for this Mercedes, and the transmission fluid and transmission pan gasket, washers, blah blah blah, hydraulic steering fluid. What else? Pentafrost. I guess it's still. I really don't recall what the stuff is for. Coolant. Pentafrost NF, I think. Yeah. All right. Let's get to the installation of those lubricants and hydraulic stuff to the car. I am using Fabi 06161 for the power steering fluid. Let's see if the Bluetooth funnel gonna work. Ooh, not bad. I'm gonna make it full. Okay, it's full now. Let's close it to avoid the accidents. Let's raise the car. Click. Safety. And let's turn the wheels back and forth. Do 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 do, and to another side. Do 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 do, and to another side. And let's check the not too much liquid gun. All right. What does it show? It's full and hot, however it's called. But anyway, I believe some fluid should went back to the system. All right. Let's call it for now. Let's see if anything changed in the tank. No, it's still the same level. Let's leave it like that for now. Next, I would like to, I think, do the transmission service. I will lower the car. I will use my suction thing to evacuate the fluid from the transmission to reduce the mess when I will be opening up the pan, and we'll replace the filter we'll replace the gasket, and we're probably gonna replace the connector socket, which is common to leak on 7226 transmission. It definitely was the male person who designed this filter holder, or whatever you want to call it. I didn't see any longer ones than that. Just a side note. Let's replace all the gaskets. However, it looks like the engine oil in this motor was replaced fairly recently. It was quite clean. It's only 4 O-rings for this holder, not even 5. I'm not sure why they put only 4. It's laughable. Putting the O-ring to the correct groove in here. Since there is one extra O-ring in the kit, I assume there is some kind of more complicated filter housing holder assembly existent. Oh my god. And the last one, tiny bitty. Alright, the new filter goes in all the way. I guess that's yeah, now this is it. And you wonder why I'm not oiling this ring. It's because there is quite some oil left from the old filter, so there is no need for extra lubrication activity in there. Oops. It goes very easy. All right. Hulk power. Right. Should be good enough. With that being said, I'm gonna raise the car now, drain the transmission fluid, and we're gonna refill it. Let's see the waterfall. Not so much of a waterfall, actually. Just a slight bit. That's better. And I'm gonna let it drain to minimize the mess. Put a new gasket, put a new filter, and put it back together. And replace the socket right in here. There you go. Transmission pan cleaned, new gasket installed. It's a L-ring gasket if I'm not mistaken. New filter is installed. The mating surface is cleaned. Now I'm gonna attach the pan to the transmission. I'm gonna need to go inside and double check what are the torque specs for those bolts. Then I already disconnected the connector. There is I guess maybe 8mm nut in there holding this socket in place. Let's recap here. Underneath the car, just installed the exhaust, connected the O2 sensors, route the wiring into the designated spots from both sides. Exhaust is attached up. One more point, need to install this bolt. Totally forgot about it. So one more thing to do, and then I'm gonna lower the car, fill the fluids, and we're gonna start it. I'm in the process putting the transmission fluid in. I already put around 7.3 liters of engine oil. Unfortunately, this car doesn't come with a dipstick, so I used, you know, literally data online just to see how much to put in. And now it's gonna be the big moment, the first start of the car, assuming it's gonna start at all. Let me try to connect this positive wire. First time since the okay. Connected. No smoke coming, which is good. Okay, this can sit in there. I am very nervous trying to figure out what I forgot to attach or connect, or something gonna blow. We do not have a coolant yet. Okay. I'm scared. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Very nice. I'm gonna measure the that's I spilled some fluid. So don't worry about the smoke, that's normal. I spilled some oil. I'm gonna measure the transmission level and add, most likely I'm missing some.